U.S. men's soccer team uses rainbow logo to protest Qatar anti-LGBTQ+ stance at World Cup. The U.S. men's team is showing their support for the LGBTQ+ community by way of a rainbow-themed logo at their training facility in Qatar as they prepare for this month's World Cup. Same-sex relationships are illegal in Qatar, and the host nation has been the subject of criticism for its LGBTQ+ policies as the World Cup approaches. The design features 7 rainbow-colored vertical stripes below USA in dark letters and is part of the Be the Change initiative the team adopted in 2020 with the goal of inspiring action on social justice issues. U.S. coach Gregg Berhalter said, quote, "When we are on the world stage and when we are in a venue like Qatar, it is important to bring awareness to these issues, and that is what Be the Change is about. It is not just stateside that we want to bring attention to social issues. It is also abroad. We recognize that Qatar has made strides and that there has been a ton of progress, but there's still some work to do," end quote. Organizers of the World Cup, which is the first to be held in a Middle Eastern nation, say that everyone, no matter their sexual orientation or background, is welcome, while also warning against public displays of affection. Some players have raised concerns over the rights of fans traveling to this year's World Cup, especially LGBTQ+ individuals and women. So, when thinking about this, I think it's kind of interesting that everyone is welcome. Come watch. But yet, be careful on that public display of affection. To me, a part of someone's identity and expression is holding hands with their partner, maybe giving a kiss. So why would how is that welcoming? To me, that kind of seems like a contradicting, it seems very contradicting to me.
But there's conditions, which is not really fair.
But how is that welcoming?
It's not at all.
Welcome to prison.
It is.
Yeah. Welcome to prison. Welcome to your jail cell.
Welcome to being stoned.
Make sure you're aware at all times, looking over your shoulder.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. I mean, that's a caution to any LGBTQ+ folks watching that want to go attend or anything. That please be very, very careful of these types of countries because you're under their jurisdiction, their laws, their practices, and you're subject to that.
I hate to be contrarian, but I also want to point out that in many ways, sometimes when we're traveling to another country, it's not just because of PDA, but because they don't do PDA at all. So,
so it's good to know in advance.
In socially conservative countries, like Middle Eastern countries, they simply do not do PDA, period. There's no making out standing next to a fountain at a mall or whatever it is. So in some ways, I say that we respect that. We don't, we do not make a spectacle by, sucking on our husband's tongue in public. But that doesn't mean that I won't hold his hand or tell people that he is my husband. I'm not going back into the closet for a soccer game. But that said, today I was actually reading blogs earlier, and Joe Jervis from Joe My God reported that apparently one of the Fox News hosts says that he would no longer be a fan of American soccer because of the rainbow flag shield.
Oh,
wow.
Ooh. These games should not even be in Qatar. There is a great limited series right now on Netflix that looks at how these games were bought by the Qataris and the Russians 4 years ago. There was a huge bust of the leaders of the organizing body of world football, and it's compelling and it's well done. And I encourage everybody to write it because they literally sold these games to despotic nations, literally Russia, and then 4 years later, Qatar. Now we're going to get the North American games will be in 4 years. Throughout America, Canada, and Mexico. But look at this. It just exposes the levels of corruption that make it easy for these, fat cat executives to go, oh yeah, I'll take $1.5 million for my football federation, which goes right into their pockets. And then they hurt the Caribbean clubs. They hurt the African clubs that are supposed to get this money. To help boost their clubs and build the game in third world nations and places that need relief like sport. Because sport is good. Football is fun. But the way that Qatar got the games, this despotic nation, I mean, they make China look like an open, free, well-deserving of major event type of country. That's how bad Qatar is. And they're only about the size of this studio. I mean, they are a small little
But they have a lot of money.
because they've got, because they got a lot of gas.
No, bottom line, authoritarian countries has an easier time bidding for these major world events simply because they don't need to go through the democratic process. Remember, the United States tried to get our own Olympics, but we keep failing at it because the local population didn't want it. Boston wanted to put in a bid, but then the Boston people put in a vote and say, we do not want an Olympic Games because that will bring way too much traffic.
And it's often a money-losing proposition.
Right. But in America, though, we don't need to build new stadiums to host a World Cup because we've already got world-class stadiums throughout our country. And unlike the Olympics, to your point, it's spread out over multiple cities. And when the North American Games, it'll be spread out across multiple countries. So fortunately, we've got that. And then we do have the Olympics. We've got the LA Games coming in 2028. So World Cup will be a good warm-up for the U.S.
Well, thank you for that confirmation, because last night I literally looked at the documentary FIFA.
Yeah.
And I was like, am I going to watch this? Am I not going to watch this? So tonight,
Yeah, time well spent.
I think I'm going to watch it too.
Yeah.
Let's watch it together.
Okay.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Lara are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out television network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.